Welcome back to Falcon Blues TV, and it's finished Sunderland 1, Everton 1 at the Stadium of Light, our first game there since about 2016. And to sum it up, I'm going to sum it up very quickly. 30 minutes, virtually unplayable. 60 minutes, unwatchable. First half, as I just said there, the first 30 minutes, absolutely fantastic. You know, we pressured them, we caused mistakes from them, we had made them just give the ball away so cheaply, and we were quick. We didn't let them settle for that 30 minutes. You know, we almost opened the scoring after 15 seconds with James Garner just shooting wide of the post. We had a couple of chances, but just more than enough. It was enough pressure during those 30 minutes to really put the game to bed. You know, Grealish has had an effort. But obviously that moment of magic from Iliman Ndiaye was just class. And thank God we've got him, because after that, there was absolutely no one there who was looking like scoring a goal for us. We just, I don't know, after they scored, we returned to type where we just sit back and we just allow teams to just come on and invite pressure again and again and again. And, you know, I just don't know what he's thinking when he's doing this. Obviously, the goal, absolutely fantastic, and we're 1-0, and then, you know, that chance for Tierno Barry. You know, we've gone on about Beto missing chances, but that was gilt-edged. He's wide open, 3 yards from goal, and he puts it over the bar. And, you know, you've got to feel for the lad, because after that, his confidence was just on the floor. And then the second half comes and they score within a minute of the first half, the second half kicking off, and you knew it was coming, because we sat back that much in that first half. You could almost see the pressure being invited on by them. You know, Granit Xhaka scored a great goal to mad deflection off Tarkowski, who stunk. Tarkowski was awful yesterday, smiling every time something. You know, he gives this weird smirk. If there was a clearance he made where it went out for a corner, I think it was, and he stands there smirking at it. He scores an own goal and he's smirking at it. Mate, jib the theatrics. You know, everyone goes on a Pickford. Tarkowski is worse than it. Michael Keane was absolutely outstanding yesterday. I think we maybe got away with a penalty with his jazz hands when he was pretty much playing left back. But the whole thing hinged on those 30 minutes and us not scoring another 2, which we clearly should have had. And then the 60 minutes after that, it was like a reverse derby. You know, we were crap in the first 30 minutes and then we had a good hour. But last night, you'll probably look at it and go, that's actually not a bad point, because Sunderland are playing really, really well. And, you know, like I said, they're 3rd, 4th in the league, and they could have gone 2nd if they'd have won last night. We've jumped up to 14th a little bit with that point, but we know we could have had 3 points there, because we should have had the game signed and sealed inside those 30 minutes. But, you know, also probably should have been a couple of red cards, if not at least one for the 2 wild tackles. There was one just after we'd scored on Ndiaye, and then the one on Jack Grealish in the second half, which was given a yellow card. And to be fair, I thought the referee was actually all right yesterday. He was pretty even. There was, you know, he let the game be quite physical and let the game flow. So, you know, for once, a bit of praise for the referees. Maybe should have looked at the offside for their goal, but it is what it is. But I'm just going to go back to Moyes' tactics and Moyes' substitutions yesterday. Bringing on Dwight McNeil was not the answer when Ndiaye went off injured. You know, bringing on Charlie Alcaraz at 82 minutes isn't the answer to that. You know, we were chasing the game. I get what he was trying to do, where he's probably trying to look for a late goal, but why not just bring them on early and get those goals? You know, Mill and Roll, Tyler Diblin, Charlie Alcaraz, almost their heads must be on Mars, mate. Wondering what the fuck they've got to do to get in this side, because Dewsbury Hall was shocking. You know, he was poor in that. He can't play in that role. He needs to come back and play into the centre midfield. James Garner was all right, but you know, it was still passive and very ineffective for long periods. You know, I think he needs to look at everything. We desperately need a striker in January. I'm sure Paul summed that up in the video last night as well. We desperately need a striker. But apart from that, we also need 2 fullbacks. Jack Grealish was awful last night, and you know, everyone can sing the praises of, oh, we've got Jack Grealish, isn't he great? He was poor. But that's because, one, he's trying to do too much, because he's got Michalenko behind him who's giving him nothing. So Michalenko, that needs to change. Jake O'Brien played well, but he's not a right back. So for me, I'd take out Tarkowski and play Keane. Hear me out. Keane and O'Brien in that central defence. We've got to give someone like Asnu a go here, because Michalenko literally just defends. He'll try and get further, but he's not effective enough to cause any kind of grief in that box. You know, and then maybe James Garner at right back. I know it's square pegs and round holes again, but we've got to try something else, because we desperately need attacking fullbacks to support Ndiaye and Grealish. And then, you know, the substitution for Beto, I don't get it. I'd have just kept Barry on and given him a rocket up the arse and gone, listen, lad, all right, you missed that chance, go and get another one. You've got an opportunity there, go and score another goal. Go get yourself in there. Instead, he takes him off. Beto has less than 5 touches. And, you know, was as effective as my dog on Bommy night. You know what I mean? He just didn't occupy the space that Tierno Barry did. I mean, Barry's not the greatest. I'm not trying to say either of them are brilliant. But you saw more in that first half, and you saw more from Barry than you did from Beto in the entire game there. Dwight McNeil coming on. Mate, remember when Ross Barkley came on at Chelsea and he looked pissed? That was the same cameo as Dwight McNeil there. That's how poor he was. It was just a waste of a sub, and Moyes needs to fall on that. He needs to take responsibility and accountability for those subs. Like I said, Diblin, Roll, Alcaraz all sat on the bench. Asnu on the bench. Must be wondering what the fuck they've got to do to get in front of Dwight McNeil to get, you know, or at least get more than 5 minutes. You know, I'd have taken Grealish off and given Diblin a go. Let him go and run at tired defenders. Let Merlin Roll take Garner Gay off. Garner Gay was excellent because he just didn't stop running. But again, isn't effective enough in that final third. Merlin Roll probably might be. He's a bit younger. He's probably got a bit more fitness about him. I don't know. But I just feel like we've gone out and paid all this money for these players and we aren't utilising them. And that's on Moyes. Moyes has got to really, really think about what he's doing with these players. But we desperately need a striker. That should be the priority 1 in January, maybe even a new manager at this rate, because what he's doing is same old. You know, 20 years on, we've got new owners, the same manager, and the same recruitment problems. Nothing's changed with Everton. You thought it might have done, but it hasn't. So there's got to be a massive shift. We've got to pick up something at Fulham. Fulham are playing well. You know, they've got to go to win at the weekend, scoring goals. So I know it was only Wolves on Saturday, and Wolves have been very poor, but still scoring goals, still banging in 3 goals. We haven't got 3 goals in us. So that's my 2 cents. Like I said, 30 minutes, virtually unplayable, 60 minutes, unwatchable. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to the channel. Thank you as always to everyone who does. Make sure you come into the pop-up shop on the 9th of November at the Terrace Bar. Starts from 1 p.m. Loads of very, very creative Evertonians making Everton products and, you know, putting their spin on things, and some of the stuff is absolutely fantastic. You'll come down, come and have a look at it, buy some stuff for Christmas for your parents, for your kids and whatever. It'd be a really good afternoon. So anyway, up the toffees, Colin Chong, season a bit.